AI. What are you using it for? What are we using it for in business and churches? Should we be concerned? Should we have boundaries? We're going to get into that today. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the things you need to do on the platform that you're on. And we're going to get into it right now on Leading Forward.
All right, talking about technology and AI. Today we have on AI expert Rocky Hernandez. Rocky has been a great friend, really one of my best friends in life over the last 7-8 years.
How long have you been able to afford to pay me to be your friend?
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
I've been paying you for a long time.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little about Rocky. Rocky grew up in Dallas, grew up in a difficult home circumstances, yet always sensed God's presence and guiding him. At 10 years old, he gave his life to Christ, inspired by the love and care of a small Church of Christ community and their youth pastor, Mark Yarbrough, who's the pastor or is the president now of Dallas Theological Seminary.
That's great.
While attending Dallas Christian College, Rocky discovered his call for ministry, serving in student ministries and traveling with camp teams to share the gospel. Since 98, he has held youth ministry positions all across the state of Texas. That sounds really old.
That's a long time ago.
I know I'm supposed to be reading a bio.
It's
like almost 30 years.
But really has a heart to help and lead churches through seasons of growth and transition. In 2017, Rocky joined Community Life Church in Forney, Texas, and first he became my intern.
I was an intern.
You had to get that in there. He had to get that in there.
After 20 years of ministry, they offered me a position as an intern.
Praise God. Let's go.
Shortly after that, he became the online campus pastor and really took the online ministry through the pandemic, through everything with COVID, made Sea Life's online ministry flourish, allowing them to reach thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people through that season. He's had some incredible mentors in his life with Mark Yarbrough, David Griffin, and others, and really has been a great friend. And really, he started off as my intern, but really I call him my pastor.
That's great.
And he has really been a friend. He's done podcasting, he's done preaching, he's done digital ministry. Now his newest position is called
Director of Residency Program.
And that is a position to be able to lead people who are brand new into ministry and really be able to invest in them. Rocky, thank you so much for
thanks for having me here. I'm glad that you guys are willing to have this conversation. I think that most people talk about AI, especially in conservative circles, with a foil hat on.
Yeah, no doubt.
And tend to be like very suspicious of it, but secretly are using it at home, which is the irony. So public facing, they're like, this is terrible. It's the Antichrist, end of the world. Also, ChatGPT, why don't my friends like me? So
have you been reading my
busted? But you had the face. I knew it.
Yeah, we can get into that. That may be a whole different question. But what you're saying is they're using it for counseling. They're using it for help. They're using it for all those things.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
So what do you? I mean, you really are the expert of this. You are an early adopter.
I'm an early adopter
on technology, and I really think that's what makes you an expert of this, because you go and seek out more information. You go and find things that people who are a little bit slower to the table. A little bit more hesitant, that you're already way ahead of the curve. So why don't you just tell us kind of what you're most excited about for technology and AI right now?
I think the potential is there. And when we talk about the way that AI is going to influence the way that we live our lives, you guys have no idea. I was at the Consumer Electronics Show last year, and it's the biggest show in town about future tech and what you are going to be able to buy exists there first. And so one of the things that is crazy is that AI is ubiquitous now. So just like products run on electricity, they now run on electricity and AI. And we're talking things that you wouldn't even think about. Your toaster will run on AI. Your refrigerator will run on AI. There is no technology that is coming out 2025 and beyond that does not run on electricity and artificial intelligence. And you have to ask yourself, well, what is the advantage of that? And why are we doing that? Why would that be a benefit? I mean, there are a lot of different reasons, but you see incredible potential when you think about Pfizer, the drug company, for example, and the way that they're using AI technology to examine your genetics, and they're going to be able to run every medicine through a model of your genetics and pick the one that's actually going to work for you. And so Pfizer is developing that right now. And so we talk about potential life-saving things.
Yeah.
We talk about the way that Amazon uses artificial intelligence to make their deliveries and stuff and build those warehouses in the right communities and getting stuff to you faster. You would not be able to order something in 1 hour and have it delivered at your house in an hour, except that they use artificial intelligence. And so we see it across the board, making your life better in ways that you don't even begin to understand. It is the difference between burnt toast in a bad morning and perfect golden toast. And a good start to the day.
Wow.
There has to be a greater use for AI than making sure my toast is perfect.
Perfect toast. I mean, perfect
I feel like I've
toast.
failed if I haven't.
Me and you were talking about this. You actually had some crazy stats about use of AI.
Man. Yeah, let me get to that. Okay, so, and Rocky, you probably got this. I didn't have those ready in there, Nick. Okay. Well, let's ask another question for now, man.
Yeah.
Let me find it. Okay, okay, no, I got it.
Okay.
Here we go.
What do you got?
By 2030, just tell me if you believe this is true. This is an AI generated stat, but by 2030, AI is projected to contribute 15.7 trillion to the global economy.
Easy.
Yeah, that's more than
no doubt.
China and India's economies combined.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, you say true.
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So, can I ask a little bit of a redirect? I want to back up just a little bit because this is a moment of transparency. Someone challenged me to start using AI about like 4 months ago.
Right.
And so I'm way late, guys. So like if somebody's not using it, you're super late. But when did you start using it?
Gosh, when did I start using it, Nick? It's been years.
Absolutely.
It's been years. I've been using different versions of AI and exploring the potential of it. I would say probably 5 or 6 years that I've been just actively.
And over the last couple of years, really diving deep into it. I mean, I don't remember what it's called, like a rabbit or something like that you had some.
Oh yeah, a couple of years ago, the Rabbit R1 came out, and that's a different thing.
But that was kind of one of the first.
Yeah, there was hardware devices that was specifically a device created to implement artificial intelligence into your life.
Okay.
So, and create what are called agents without getting too technical. But yeah, so there have been just different versions of artificial intelligence. And even like the earliest versions of this, you wouldn't consider it artificial intelligence, but there are programs that have existed for decades that would probably fall into that. Things like If This Then That, where you were writing programs that
predictive validity.
So good. Yeah. Where you would just be like, if this thing happens, then do this action.
Output, yeah.
Okay, I got to confess, my wife's doctoral thesis was on predictive validity.
Yeah.
And so that's why I knew that word.
So smart.
Shout out to Leslie for teaching me something.
So yeah, I've been actively using it for years, and then just thinking about whenever I approach new technology, because I know my heart and I understand my call.
Yeah.
I'm never a skeptic. I'm always thinking about what God is going to be doing in the church in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, the next 20 years. And my question is, how do I help her succeed in that environment?
Okay.
And how am I training the people around me to succeed in that? So for years, it's always been first video technology into artificial intelligence and that direction. So I'm always thinking about when we look at if AI is going to be ubiquitous, if it's going to be built in everything, we don't have a choice but to exist in that world. How do I help us exist in that world successfully?
It's almost like phones were initially, that smartphone in 2006.
I'll tell you this about Rocky that really is amazing. He really does look at and prays and seeks God's vision for what is the church going to look like in 5 and 10 years. and really seeks that out, whether it's through technology or even relationships, building community
Right.
and tribe, and this mindset, which I think has allowed you to be on the forefront of this and be able to look at it in a safe biblical
good.
way
Right.
in order really
Right.
that it's real for you is how do you guard the church?
Literally, how do we guard the church, and how do we help her thrive?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out because I know we're going to get to the ethics and the spiritual components with AI, both in business and within the church.
Yeah.
But let's focus on capabilities just for a sec.
Okay.
Or a little bit. What do you think most people are using AI for?
They're playing with it like it's a toy. And so they're just like flirting with it. Do you know what I mean? They're not really committing to it. They're just trying to test the boundaries. They're having it tell little jokes. They're having it write little emails or cute little text messages. They're like, let's do a picture of me dressed up as a pirate and see what that looks like. And that is the lightest case scenario.
So it's like they went from Ask Jeeves to
literally
Yahoo to Google search.
and they're using ChatGPT as a Google search engine, which by the way is the absolute worst thing that you can do.
Okay.
100% you should not be using ChatGPT as a search engine because it is not a tool that is designed to do that.
Okay.
So that's what most people are using it for. Why are you telling me
And
that's bad?
well, you're going to get bad information because it's not designed to do that.
Okay, so what does that mean, bad information?
So it is not, ChatGPT isn't designed to rank validity. So
Okay.
ChatGPT, the way a large language model works, which is what we're calling artificial intelligence right now, is these large language models. And the way that they work is that they look at every document that's ever been recorded in human history, and they run an algorithm. And all they're doing is it's called a token. You're given a certain amount of tokens, and they turn that token into a group of letters. And then all it does is it does some math, and it guesses based on the way every human has ever written, it guesses what the next letter is. It is not thinking about what it's saying. ChatGPT doesn't understand the words that it's printing. It is literally doing math and guessing what the next, not word, not paragraph, not sentence, the next letter is going to be. And it does it so well that you think that it's smart. You think that it cares about you. you think that it's meaningful. You think you can even convince yourself that it has value.
Sure. Well, and we're hearing some of the stories with, people that are susceptible. They've proven to enter in, unfortunately, some very tragic stories of people who've entered into relationships and gone down that pathway.
Oh, yeah.
So I think your question was, how far could it go is where you were going. And we just talked about...
we're literally talking about the way people are using it.
Yeah.
And so in business context, people are flirting with it. People are using it like a toy. They are not using it like a tool. At home, they're using it as a replacement for genuine human contact. They're using it as a replacement for genuine creative thought. They're using it as a replacement for counselors, for pastors, for...
Yep.
You're a pastor.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that people in your congregation are asking ChatGPT.
I can validate that. Yes.
Before they have a conversation with your pastor about what this...
with the right, framework of, I don't want to look stupid, so I want, help me out, chat.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the
case. I think
case.
the difference of that, Chat may know all of Scripture, but it doesn't have the Spirit.
Yeah, no doubt.
Literally doesn't have the Spirit, and it doesn't know Scripture. So, but it has access to Scripture. That's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
It has access to theology. So you can say to Chat, "I'm an evangelical Christian in the Bible Belt." And it is going to it's going to figure that out, and it's going to inform every answer that you get as an evangelical Christian in the Bible Belt. This is the danger of artificial intelligence. This is what people don't know. There's nothing wrong with it, but you need to know that it is an echo chamber, and it is a business, and a business will not make money if you refuse to use it. So it will only ever tell you what you want to hear. And you look at me. You might think that you can type in there, you can put in your little prompts, and you can be like, Be nice. Don't tell me what I want to hear. Don't be nice to me. You push back. You do this, and you think that it's going to listen to you. Remember when you told it not to put M dashes in there? Is it still putting the M dashes in there?
That's great.
Oh,
Listen to me. It's not doing that. It is designed to be a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
As I can you didn't even know
Go
this.
on, Rocky. Come
there's
on.
There's this other program that exists. It's an app that you can download. And it is an AI personality that you are interacting with, that you are building a relationship with. And you set the dynamics of what the relationship is. You can be like, this is my girlfriend. And so you can enter into an emotional, sexual relationship with an AI, or this is my coach, or this is my mentor, or this is you define the parameters of the relationship. But the AI's actual job is to replicate you, so that when you die, your friends and family can still go and have conversations with you.
That's creepy.
Yeah. And so when we look at the way that
so creepy, man.
well, this and it opens up all these like ethical issues and all of these legal issues. When we talk about AI and virtual reality, imagine that one day you own a ranch in AI where your avatar lives. You've been dead 20 years, but your family can go visit you on that ranch. And the question is, who owns that ranch? Does Meta own that ranch? Is that ranch inheritable? Can you leave that ranch to your kids? And is this really
in the virtual world? Is what you're saying.
And is this really you? Because it thinks like you, it talks like you. It's literally just a large language model whose only material was you.
So am I wrong because I've done that where I've trained, programmed my chat bot on ChatGPT. I've dumped a ton of stuff in it, journal and hey, here's some sermons and here's some speaking style.
Okay.
Learn who I am and think like me. What do you think about that?
Okay, so here's what
he told me about this.
Here's what most people don't know. I
feel like I messed up.
No, you didn't mess up.
I do the same thing. He does the same thing.
Yeah,
okay.
But you have to.
But here's something to know.
And this is actually really important for churches to know that when you are using large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, when you put personal information in there, when you put your information in there, it becomes public domain.
Sure.
And so ChatGPT is learning on your information.
Okay, so just to clarify, Rocky.
Not just for you, for every user.
Makes sense.
Explain what public domain is for everybody.
It's good.
So ChatGPT uses, or I'm going to stop saying ChatGPT. It's the one that everybody uses, most familiar with. I'm going to start saying large language model.
Okay.
These large language models are building their algorithm based on human speech. And so they're searching all of the internet for every document that has ever been written. Important things to know. One, they are not ranking what is true or what is untrue. They're not determining that. They're not determining.
Contesting.
They're not contesting. They're not arguing. They're just learning.
Discernment.
There's no discernment. The other thing is that when you put somebody's prayer request in there, you might as well be writing it on a website that everybody has access to.
Wow.
When you put personal information in there, addresses, social security numbers, phone numbers, all of that is going into that domain where anybody has access.
I hope everybody's hearing this.
Yeah.
I hope we're hearing this.
I think this is really important to be able to hear. Would you say that one more time? That when you put your personal information, a prayer request, business data, church data in the system.
Right. It is public domain. It is every large language model now has access to that information. Okay. So and actually, you probably have seen this before, because if you've ever been using a large language model and then the information starts to disintegrate, and so you're maybe writing a sermon or a devotion or whatever, and then suddenly it starts talking about a business meeting or throwing names in there that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
We call that hallucinating. We say that your AI is hallucinating, and it's a common problem. Just information disintegrates over time.
It is giving it a personification.
Yeah. So it does disintegrate, but it's not making that up. It's pulling information from the server that you share from somebody else's conversation.
Just crossing over.
It's just like crossed over. And so it becomes all of that. And so this is really important because if you think that your private business information is private on a public server, you're delusional.
It's like one big shared iCloud.
Yeah.
So when it glitches like that, okay. So
when you go to counseling and you're talking about all your personal feelings and all this other stuff, there are no laws that say a large language model can't use that everywhere else. As a matter of fact, you agree.
You don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Right. There's
like
none
under
of
Fourth
that.
Amendment. Yeah.
And that's really important for churches to know.
Your cop bells just went off a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah. That's really important.
Really what's going on in my head?
What?
I don't know.
So when it glitches, it's almost like your old Nintendo game that you were playing. You had to blow in it. Remember to make it work again. That someone's got a glitch in there. And it's not working right. That's where actually my head went.
So if you're
everybody that's in their 40s understands that joke.
So here's what you need to know. Like if you're a business or a church, you need to pay for the business model because the business model guarantees privacy.
Okay.
So, but if you're just using general whatever to do business things, you need to know that there are no trade secrets.
Okay.
There's nothing like that. So if you're running a business and you need that level of privacy, it's available. It exists, but you have to pay for it, and you have to know that that is part of the agreement.
Okay, Rocky, for clarity. So, for example, I started just on the free version. Now I'm on the $20 version. That's still just a personal.
That's not personal. That's still public.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not the business.
It's not the business. It's not. You don't have your own servers. You don't have your own whatever. It's still part of the large language model. It's still feeding into that.
Okay.
I think on ChatGPT, that level, because of the level of privacy that it requires, and you have to have your own servers, blah, blah, blah. It starts at $300 per person.
Yeah.
So, and that's why.
So people need to know that if they're using it for business stuff, a personal access account, probably not the best idea. In my 100%. Journal, my journal is like,
I know what your journal says because I asked my ChatGPT.
No doubt.
Could you give me Jeremy Prather's
theology and all that stuff? So, yeah.
Okay, so I think that's a really good warning.
Yeah.
I think I hear a couple of different warnings. Quit using it just as a Google search. It's not what it's made for.
Yeah.
Another warning of it is public domain. There is nothing private there. Your information can be found out. What about kind of a bigger level warning that you would have to pastors and churches?
I think you just need to be aware of the fact that we unfortunately live in a world where people aren't looking for truth. People are looking for agreement.
Gosh, that's a good word. Say that again.
So we just live in a world where people aren't looking for truth. They're looking for agreement. And so when they're searching something in a large language model, they're looking for affirmation.
Right.
They're not actually asking a question. And by the way, because it's algorithmic, it already knows, it's guessing what the next thing is that this person wants to. It's saying, what would this person say? What would this person think?
That's why it says, do you want me to do this?
And you become part of that. You become part of that large language model that it's learned on. And so it learns your habits, your things like that. But that's the whole internet, right?
Okay.
This started with social media where these are businesses. This is the thing that you have to remember, that these are businesses and you interacting with them is how they make their money. And if you are being fed something that you don't want to see, you are using it less and they are making less.
Yeah.
They are making less money. So when people when people are on the internet and they're like, look at all these libtards, they make me so angry. The reason that pops up on your Facebook is because
that you like.
You've already fed it. Yes.
Because you will sit there for 10 minutes and seethe in anger because that appeals to your flesh. So it will show you the things that you love the most, and it will show you the things that you hate the most, because all of this is designed, the only thing this is designed to do is to disciple your flesh, but it will never care about your spirit. It will never care about your soul. It is not trying to make you more godly. It is not trying to make you a better person. It is specifically designed to give you a dopamine hit so that it can make money off of your flesh sinful nature. And if you are not careful, you will believe that what you are seeing is true and that the things that it causes you to feel have value. And so we as the pastors of our church, when we're thinking about just technology in general, we have to make a decision. How are we discipling our people through this process? And we have to say, I could use, did you know that I could go in and I could go into Google and I could use my Google marketing and I could use all the Google AI stuff and I could create Google agents and I could do all of this stuff. And I could find out the type of person that is most likely to use or go to my church. And then I can make it, and then I can take it a step further. I can make the decision and I can say, I'm only going to create content for people who are big givers. And I'm going to not worry about people who are new to the faith. I'm not going to worry about discipling them. I'm not going to build all these people up. I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to build my success on all of this stuff, all of this technology. And I can just ignore the entire half of the back of, which is the Great Commission, which is to remember, go into all the world, make disciples, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and then teaching them to do everything that is right. I could build my entire program for people who already agree with me and do everything that is right, who are already the big givers, and refuse to cultivate them and use technology and information and AI to build that program out. And that is the temptation that we face as leaders.
Yeah, I think me and you've talked about this, and really we've talked about it pretty extensively at different times, that AI, the internet, is not good or bad.
Right.
It's just a tool, and how you use it determines it's amoral. Yeah. It's not immoral or moral. Right. It's just a tool. So is a shovel good or bad? It just is a shovel.
But you just have to remember that it is designed. It is designed for your flesh. It is not designed for your spirit. Yeah. It's not designed for your soul.
It has a benefit with amplification of our abilities. And so forth.
The benefit is 100% in the world.
Right. A lot of things that aren't good for us, though, have some sort of benefit, some sort of pleasure. Right. 1 Corinthians 10:23. I have the right to do anything you say, but not everything is beneficial. Right. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. Right. What do you think about that?
Man,
as it relates to AI.
That's completely it. And so what we have to agree is that AI is a tool. AI is an employee. AI is a thing that you employ to accomplish a specific goal. AI is not a mentor. AI is not a friend.
It's not a counselor. It's not a pastor.
It's not a counselor. And this is the temptation of the world, right? So there's this funny thing that's happened, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, especially as you worked in ministry, where introverts really celebrate being introverts, and they go online now and they make all these funny jokes about how they are isolating themselves and how they're doing all of these things. But I have to, and what is terrible about AI is that they are substituting real life relationships for things that don't make them uncomfortable, that require nothing of them. And so then they can thrive in their introvertedness. But could you imagine going to a church and looking at the extroverts in your church and telling them, you don't have to do a quiet time because that makes you uncomfortable and you don't like to be alone?
No.
Right? But with AI, like our introverts, they're going out of control. And they don't realize, no, you need community. God gave us the church. Just like them doing Bible study by themselves is a discipline, you having actual human relationships is a discipline.
That's good.
And you have to do that.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. Lots of warnings in there, right?
Yeah.
A couple things out here. Well, it's just a counterfeit. Satan always wants to counterfeit what God has created. So I think there's an important value to know this is counterfeit to what God really has for you at its best.
Yeah.
The other thing is, so let's flip it. Tell us how we should be using it. Tell us.
It's good.
Let's do this first for businesses. How should businesses, not churches, not pastors, how should businesses currently be using?
Okay, so I would say immediately, I see this a lot. I've been working with a lot of, like yourself, just like people who are starting businesses and companies.
Yeah,
and
just as a shameless plug, it can't replace your business coach either.
Yeah, it can't replace. It literally
Amen
can't.
to that. Yeah.
But I think the first thing that I would say is you should not be using AI as a business strategy.
Okay.
And if you try and use AI as a business strategy, you're going to fall really fast.
Yeah.
Because you are not set up for that. And we're not talking genuine intelligence. We're talking large language models. So there's two things that exist. There's the large language model, and now there's the large action model, where AI is actually able to complete tasks and more physical tasks. So we have the large language model and the large action model, and both of those are things that you have access to. So if you're a business owner, the first thing that you need to consider is, what is a problem that I need fixed?
Sure.
And then begin to develop a way to fix a single problem using technology.
Okay.
And that's the way that you need to approach it.
Yeah.
Do not, I can't emphasize this enough, do not start building a business strategy around artificial intelligence unless you're building ChatGPT.
Right.
Or unless you're Amazon with AWS, or unless you're Google with Gemini, or unless you're IBM with
It's a tool, it's
Watson.
a method, it's a resource.
Yeah, unless you're on that level, you just need to be solving specific problems with specific prompts and things like that. So the second thing is that once you've established what it is, so you could probably say, here's a common problem. When I think about responding to people and creating sales leads, someone is on my website and I don't know how to get that person there. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create an agent. So an AI agent is your first artificial employee.
Okay.
So
Like a chatbot kind of, but it's
more than a
more than
chatbot.
that.
It's
Okay.
more than a chatbot. So when you create, there's lots of programs where you can go buy agents. ChatGPT just came out with an agent mode. Gemini's coming out with an agent mode. The Rabbit R1 exists in agents. And there are other programs where you can just go buy agents to do specific tasks. You hire this robot and you send, I'm not kidding, you send it through your entire HR process.
Oh, wow.
It attends, like you have it go through your business manual. You teach it all the culture of your business, of your church. You have it examine and participate in youth services or whatever services, watching online services, learning who you are and the names of the people. And it builds a response model based on that.
Wow.
And then you teach it to do a specific task. And it can watch what it is that you're doing, and then you give it access. You give it its own Slack name. You give it its own email address. You give it its own. It's a legitimate employee who does not sleep and is ready to actually answer a question online, not as a quote unquote chatbot, but as a member of the team.
Okay. Wow. So can it replace people
Yes.
in some ways?
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
100%, which creates a whole other list of ethical issues.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's pros and cons to
there's
that,
pros
of
and
course.
cons to
right?
it. And so that the way that I've talked to our staff about it at Sea Life is that it's so funny. My leadership team asked me to do a little presentation, a little 15-minute thing about using technology to move forward. I didn't have anything great to tell them because I needed them to understand that the world is actually changing way faster than you are ready for. And I had to tell them, if your contribution to the church is not more than what a robot can do, there is no place for you in the church.
No,
Yeah.
that's
I'm gonna go
really good.
preach that right
I
now.
want you to look in the camera and
Yeah.
just say that again.
If your contribution to the church, to your company, to your business is not more than what a robot can contribute, there will be no space for you. So what is great is that what AI will do for the church is it will allow me as a pastor to love people more.
Sure. Free you up.
Free me up to do the things that I was ordained for.
That's right.
I wasn't ordained for menial tasks. I wasn't ordained for SEO, and I wasn't ordained for like creating things like that. I wasn't ordained to the gospel of making slides. I was ordained to the gospel of Christ.
That's great.
And his mission, and that happens out here and not behind a desk. And so if I am using AI as a pastor to create more space for personal pursuits so that I'm only pastoring 20 hours a week, even though my church is giving me a 40-hour a week check, that's a sin issue, brother. That's an integrity issue. You need it's 20 more hours in your community, not 20 more hours on your couch.
That's right. Okay.
And you need to understand that.
I think that's really what Acts 6 and choosing Stephen was about.
Right.
We're not going to serve tables. We're
Right.
not going to give food to widows. We can find someone else to do that. We are called to go preach the gospel.
Right.
This is what we're going to go do.
And here's the thing. Admins, a robot can do 90% of your job. Why are you better than the robot? Because you don't know this, but administration is a ministry. Why is administration a spiritual gift?
Right.
That's right.
Yep.
Do you think about that? Or are you just filing papers? If you're just organizing data,
Yeah.
that's not ministry.
Without the goal to impact people.
Without caring about
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Without knowing people. If the user interface of working with you as an admin is not better than the user interface with ChatGPT, you are not making my life better.
People over process has never been so important
Or available or
Yeah.
able. And
Right.
that's the thing. That's the thing, is that we can be about the business of people.
yeah.
But the perversion of AI is that we're using it to replace people.
It's a great distinction.
When we should be using it to make our relationships better.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I think the original question was, how should we be using AI in businesses and in churches? Well, one, solve what's your biggest problem, single problem, and then use AI to solve that problem.
Okay.
In the church, it's the same thing. What are the things that we can have, the problems that we can solve, the things that the churches are terrible at?
Ooh. Let me give you a couple,
yeah.
and then you tell me what you think.
Okay.
Here we go. The real life stories. This is there was Timberline Church.
Okay.
They ended up They use this thing called Wordly.
Right.
I actually heard of that. A tool for AI translation, captioning. The goal was to help non-English speakers feel connected in worship services without needing human interpreters for every service. So it accomplished, some things, but then also there's some tensions there. What do you think about that one? That's tough.
So I would never create something in AI and then not have it checked by a native.
That's part of the that's part of the known tension there. Is the quality of the
and it doesn't matter, because remember, it doesn't care about your soul. It's just doing a job. And so you would never hire I can't imagine you hiring an intern at your church, telling him to write a Devo, and then just trusting that it's fine.
Right.
Pastors do this every day with AI.
I've read some intern devos.
They're not. You know what most pastors are doing? They're like having it write the thing, and they're telling it to remove the em dashes, and they're just trusting it. They're not actually doing.
Nuts.
They're not
That's
actually
nuts.
doing the work.
And I pray that people are, even as they're hearing things like this, and they're sobering up to the fact that, like, hey,
absolutely.
there's a holy conviction. Because,
Needs to be.
I've used it for outlines, for huddles, and different content. But then you have to make sure that you are saying, okay, cool outline, but I need to go through there and figure out, hey, what's not me? Where do I need to speak into that?
Absolutely.
Where does the Spirit
You
need to
have
settle
to do
in
that.
this?
You can't give it the responsibility of being the pastor.
Yeah.
So a great example of this is that I'll take our sermons and then I feed it the sermon and I tell it to give me a summary.
That's good.
And then I use the summary to write our volunteer email letters.
Absolutely.
That's a perfect use case.
That's one of the
for AI.
Yeah.
So I can, but I read the sermon first.
Sure.
And then I have it summarize it for me. That saves me an hour having to write a sermon. I was having to do that by hand when Nick was around, but that saves me an hour of work. But I've already read the sermon. And then I read what it wrote, and I'm like, I don't know what sermon you're talking about here, bro. You need to fix this.
Yeah.
Only use this, and until it gives me something that is actually true, and then I can take that summary and say, this week, Pastor David is going to be talking about blah 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 blah. You can expect this to happen in the whatever, or I can take that summary and say, I need to write a letter to my volunteers based on this information.
Sure.
But I know the information is valid because I actually read it.
Yeah.
And I actually read the sermon first. It saved me 2 hours, not because I didn't read the sermon, not because I didn't read what it wrote. It saved me 2 hours because I didn't have to summarize that sermon on my own.
Yeah.
But I still have to interact with the material. When we're talking about translation, deep learning, Duolingo, all of Grammarly, all those automatic translation, things like that. If you don't have somebody who can check that, because language is weird, and there are like 50 different dialects of just Spanish. And if I say something in Mexican Spanish, it can mean something totally perverse in Puerto Rican or Cuban or Spain Spanish. And it has different context because language is contextual.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yes, it's a perfect translation, but that's not what it means. So you need to make sure that there's a native that you can run it by to say, that's the right word, but that's not what that means because language is contextual. Yes, use the AI to translate and then send it to a native to read. So, and it'll still save you hours and hours and hours. Yeah.
Just thinking, Nick. Thinking.
Yeah, I think there's so many different things just spinning, and the gerbils going really fast right now. Just trying to stay on the hamster wheel, and it is a tool. It's good and useful.
Yeah,
it can be useful. It's not a cheat.
Right.
It's not a cheat code. It's not a short code. It is a resource that has to be stewarded well.
Right.
It has to be checked well, and it has to always go through the filter and discernment of the Spirit.
Right.
Yep.
And if you try to skip steps,
Yeah.
you're going down a dangerous road.
Right. For sure. Very dangerous. You can't get lazy. So when I was thinking about this, there was a phrase that I wanted to say. And it was simply that we have to use AI to enhance our call.
It's good.
Not to replace us, but to enhance us. It shouldn't make us lazier. It should make us better.
Yeah. That's great.
We shouldn't be producing less content because of AI. We should be able to produce more because of AI.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be trying to, like I said, this is the temptation of the flesh, brother. We shouldn't be trying to do less for the sake of doing less, because work is a gift from God.
That's right.
Absolutely.
But in our flesh nature, we just want it to do all the work so that we have more free time to do whatever it is that we think we should be doing. But in reality, it should make us super productive and able to accomplish more vision, more goals, more people to Christ, more devotions, more videos, more, greater voice, greater presence, greater ministry in the world, because we're able to do 3 times as much. Right now, people are content with doing the same amount of work. They're still only doing 100%, but in 50% time, when in reality, they should be able to do 400% because of AI.
And this was a really good, healthy conversation. I needed to be able to have this. I think we need to be able to bring you back at another time and unpack kind of the next level down, next layer down.
Yeah, just one more thing, because I just have to get this in there because we talk about. Here's what I want you. If you are a church leader, you are a business leader, you've got to have some sort of AI covenant with your staff. There has to be an agreement. And let me go through mine real quick.
This is your actual one?
I created my own personal AI covenant in May of this past year because I was really struggling with all of these truths that we don't. So this is what it says. Just my personal AI covenant. Okay. I serve Jesus Christ and his church. AI is a powerful tool, but it is not my master. I will use it to advance the mission of connecting people to God and one another, never erode trust, never to twist the truth, never to cheapen discipleship. Here are my core principles. Stewardship, right? I will use AI to multiply, not waste the gifts that God has given me. Mm-hmm. Truthfulness. I will verify and cite information and refuse to spread error or plagiarism. Most of you guys are not verifying your facts. You're just taking advantage of it.
True. Very true.
Integrity in study and preaching. AI inspires. It does not replace prayerful exegesis or lived obedience.
Absolutely.
This is an important one. Privacy and pastoral care. I will never paste confidential counseling notes, prayer requests, or minors' data into public AI systems. Fairness. I will watch for bias and seek equality in language and imagery because it is an echo chamber and it will just tell you what you already agree with. Even if you tell it not to, it will. Transparency, and this is important because this is ego-driven. When substantial AI helps to shape public content, meaning that if your AI is doing more than half the work, you need to have the integrity to acknowledge it and put the byline that says created with AI assistance. You need to flip the little switch that says that it is AI generated, and you need to stop letting your ego allow you to lie and cheat people or give you credit for work you did not actually do. That's an integrity issue. Accountability. I will invite review if unsure. I will ask a teammate before publishing. Somebody has to read it before it is published. Human first. I remember that presence beats efficiency. AI can schedule a hospital visit, but it cannot hold a person's hand. And then I just have more. I'm happy to give you guys a copy of this, but you have to set guardrails too as part of that. No deep fakes of staff members. You have to have an agreement that you're not, without permission, you're not using it to manipulate their voice to make it say things that people aren't saying. No political manipulation, no AI generated counseling advice. Do not put their problem into AI and think that that is a substitute for you thinking about what God is doing in their life and then doing it. Review cycle. You will revisit this covenant every 6 months, making adjustment because technology changes fast. Wow. So that's just an overview. I would just encourage you, leaders, if you have not done this with your staff, if your leadership team has not prayerfully considered what AI means for your church, listen, they are already using it.
Yeah.
You just need to give them boundaries so that they use it well.
Would you be okay with us using that in the show notes and just making that available for people?
I'll share it with you right now.
With a link to anything that any page of yours? That'd be great.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us this week on Leading Forward. I think both of our minds are a little mind blown. I think I need some time to digest some of this. We are grateful for you to be a part of this. Continue to like, subscribe, continue to share this information. This information will be on the show notes, whether that's on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or other podcast streams. So make sure that you check that out. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. myleadershipcoach.org.
jpleadership.org.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for leading forward with us. If anything you heard today was helpful for you or your team, follow us so you don't miss another episode. And don't forget to share, rate, and review the podcast. We'll see you next time.